Welcome to our podcast brought to you by the U.S. Mission to the United Arab Emirates. I'm your host, Patrick Tanimura, Deputy Principal Officer here at the U.S. Consulate General in the amazing, wonderful, global city of Dubai. We are honored to have with us today musical, lyrical, visual artist, and U.S. State Department hip-hop envoy, Mahogany Jones. And we have Dubai-based Emirati musician, Arqam Abri, to discuss the role of music and the creative industries to encourage cross-cultural communication. Welcome, Mahogany.
Thank you.
Welcome, Arqam.
Thank you.
But I want to talk about the interconnectedness of all things, really. When you are both musicians, and how this interconnectedness, how it transcends different cultures and societies and different geographical locations. So, for example, Mahogany, you have been our musical envoy. When you are traveling, and what influences do you see that U.S. music culture has had on some of these other societies and people that you've been meeting with and visiting? And when I talk about the influence, especially since it's Black History Month, I'm particularly interested in the role or the influence of Black American music and culture. What have you seen?
I'm always blown away. I think especially, I do spoken word, but hip hop is a genre of music that my modality that I operate in, and it's always mind boggling to see whether I've been in Asia, whether I've been in Africa, whether I'm like in Europe, just the influence that hip hop has had. And at first I would be surprised, but when I think about that, a lot of the places that I've had the pleasure to be an envoy in, they're also marginalized, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what happens when you are pushed to the edge and you have to figure out how to use the little bit of space you have to represent your existence, and how, necessity is the mother of invention. We get creative. We have to create. Arts is inside of us.
Mm-hmm.
We have to figure out ways that we need to say things that need to be said, that we need to create what needs to be created. So I think that just no matter where I've been in experience in hip hop, just that connection that we have of, oh, okay, feel the rhythm. It's like, okay, oh, wow. Like, okay, well, what do you want to say? Let's just, even if it's a different language,
Mm-hmm.
it's been so cool to know, like, we have this thing that's between us. We have this connection between us that, man, we love this feeling. We love this connection that we have. We love music, and it doesn't matter. Like, okay, I may not even understand what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
but I understand what you're saying. You know what I mean?
Now we're moving to a completely different genre, but something that's just as powerful: soul music.
Soul music, yes. Soul music for me, why I got to soul music was because it touched me. Sam Cooke with Change Is Gonna Come, Change Is Coming. That song is so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
That song was, I think, one of the first songs that I would have loved to have sung. I can't sing it in public because it means so much to me.
Mm-hmm.
Soul music for me, I think it allows us to connect to ourselves and to other people through emotion, through what we're going through together.
Mm-hmm.
We're all going through something. So for me, soul music always been something that I enjoy performing and singing in that genre.
And I when you were answering, you mentioned Otis Redding, and then you corrected yourself. But Otis Redding is another great.
He's incredible.
When I hear some of your songs, I also hear the influence of Otis Redding.
Most
and
definitely.
Dock of the Bay, and
that's
and,
right.
Yeah.
My dad had the records, and
yeah.
We used to sit there and listen to them all day.
And one thing I'm curious about, and I've seen other interviews where artists have been asked this question. Okay, so we see the influence. I mean, it's very direct. It's not even subtle of soul music the influence it's had and the impact it's had on your own musical career. One thing that I'm curious about. Okay, so you're from the Emirates. Your native language is Arabic.
That's right.
Was there ever an idea of blending or the thought of blending the two cultures together, where you have really it's black soul music, and then maybe sung in Arabic? Has that
Most definitely
been attempted?
Yeah, most definitely. So I do last performance in Al Hassan. We did a bit of fusion. So we did some Arabic music, and we connected with some old school soulful music, and we created the fusion, and it's almost seamless because some of the songs that we have in Arabic are also very emotional. They transcend just the language. And so for me, it's something that I do quite often. I also have the oud. We play the oud in the band as well.
And I've seen that. I want to say in some of your videos, I've seen that in the background, and someone playing. But I haven't heard you sing soul in Arabic, and I was wondering, is that even possible?
It's a little different because the way we sing in Arabic is very, very different from the way we sing soul music. So when I do sing in Arabic, I do sound like a African American singing Arabic. So it doesn't sound.
Oh wow!
doesn't necessarily work. But I do try to sing. I'm working on some songs that are a bit more traditional Arabic that I fuse with English that I sing in soulful soul music way. So.
Mahogany, you mentioned you're a lyricist, you're a musician. What do you gravitate toward more, the written word or the music?
It's hard. I feel like the music inspires the written word. But if I had to put weight on what is most important to me, it's definitely the words, which sometimes gets me in trouble. But I feel like it's the words, it's the message that matters. That matters most. I think sometimes I can get in trouble for feeling passionate about like the message that is important to me that I need to communicate. And I have to be mindful of how it's packaged, because it's like, man, what I feel someone really needs to hear, I feel is important to kind of like touch how somebody sees something or touch their perspective. It's like, no, it should be shared. I want you to kind of redesign how you're thinking about something. So the words really matter to me.
Yeah, I often think that somewhere along the lines in the last several decades, lyrics have become our generation's poetry, right? Or even the younger generation's poetry. What influences have you had in your own music, your own writing style? And
it was really cool for me to see Tracy Chapman at the Grammys this year. Like that, I remember being a teenager and her album really touching me, like really, really moving me. And so just a lot of the great storytellers, they've influenced me. So not even necessarily, I mean, of course, hip hop artists, but poets like Saul Williams or Jessica Care Moore or like Nikki Giovanni or like writers like Bell Hooks.
Wow.
Yeah, just people who were willing to be vulnerable. And it's like, okay, I'm going to put it all out there. And some of it's pretty, some of it's not pretty. But I'm going to be vulnerable in this way in hopes that maybe I'm sharing something that you don't have the courage to share, or you don't maybe have the words to share. Like, let me try to do that for you, to let you know you're not alone.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, and I love the Country Music Awards when she went up there on stage and just the collaboration. It was incredible, and it was so inspirational. Wow, blown away.
It's incredible that this country singer, I can't remember his name, was inspired by Tracy Chapman's song that was done 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I love that. I love
Yeah,
that. And
yeah.
it's almost like a reemergence.
But as far as the actual, like the local music scene, what is the local music scene in the UAE and Dubai?
So the UAE is still, what 50 years old. We still have a long way to go when it comes to music here. One thing you notice that when you turn the radio on, you don't hear any local musicians. We still don't have those platforms that allow us to be seen and heard in the UAE. Although that's changing, especially over the last year and a half. A lot of things have been changing. There's a scene here where the musicians support the musicians, but we don't necessarily get to collaborate. We have different silos. So things are changing now. The silos, they're breaking down. We are trying to get together and trying to create something beautiful, create a sound that's us, that's authentic. We have such a unique opportunity here. We have different people from different countries, different races, different nationalities, different cultures. We can create something beautiful out of all this. So I think it's just a matter of that happening over the next couple of years, and you will see a lot more local musicians.
Yeah,
There's so much talent here.
yeah.
Inshallah. So much
No,
talent here.
No, I agree. I've seen the talented musicians, and I think there is a definite audience here. But we've seen this in the United States. There's the Philly sound. There's the Detroit sound. There's
That's
New
right.
York. There's L.A. I
But
mean,
that's good.
yeah.
I think.
The go-go
I think-
scene in Washington D.C.
But now you're seeing less and less of that. You know what I mean? Like when I think about, like, regions had a sound in the States, and now it's all kind of being flattened out. It's all the same. But collaboration, I think, does make opportunity for new genres of music to come to light, for us to be able to appreciate the differences in us. That's like, oh, that's cool. Let's see how we can blend it together and what we can make, you know?
Truth, and we learn from each other, and that's how we grow. The more I learn from you, the more you learn from me, we grow. We create something beautiful.
Have you explored other genres? I know that you grew up listening to a number of different genres, but have you experimented with rap or I don't know, heavy metal or some other?
Not heavy metal yet, but rap definitely. I don't think I'm the greatest rapper. I think writing lyrics and for soul music to sing is easier than if I was rapping it. I feel like, especially when you write rap lyrics, like Big L, for example, he's an amazing lyricist, amazing writer.
There's someone who sings soul songs and someone who sings rap songs. Do they come from two different
I don't think so.
Not at all.
Not at all.
No.
modes
I mean,
of life? Or,
the-
Look at the roots.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like a lot of my influences, when I think about it, are folk music. I like a lot of the new country music because sonically I can relate to it a little bit more. But even when you're hearing country music, you hear a lot of rap influence. Why? Because we're telling stories.
yeah.
We're storytellers, and we're telling stories from places that are in deep places. Sometimes, you know, places of joy and whatever, but it's all from the human experience, and we're making music from that space. So I don't think so. Personally, I don't know what he thinks, but
I think it's very connected. And we had Jill Scott with the Roots. Jill Scott with the Roots. Jill Scott is an amazing singer, and Roots are an amazing band. That obviously Black Thought, incredible rapper, and it works so well. Just works so well. It's almost like different sides of the same coin. That's how I see it. It's almost like the yin and yang to it.
Yeah, we mentioned that this is UAE Innovation Month. When I think about American music, I think about innovation. Why do you think the United States had all these different genres of music and so many genres of music were originated from the United States?
I mean, I think the same opportunity that you speak of when it's like, man, we have so many different cultures in one place. So I think a lot of genres were created because of that. You know, I think
That diversity,
the diversity, and regionally, you know, if you're somewhere and it's cold, it's gonna have a different sound. You're somewhere and it's warm, it's a different sound. You know, so the experiences, the flavors, the taste, what's happening in your life influences what's coming out of you, what instrumentation is available to you, what you create, i.e. the innovation of hip hop. It's like, man, we only had these things available. We want to make these sounds. We're gonna make up something new. Let's figure out what we're gonna do with these turntables. Ooh, let's start scratching some stuff. Like, ooh, okay. And the fact that in doing that, it's like, okay, we need to make this process easier. So now we're creating new technology. We're creating new means in order to come up with the sound that what we're creating. We need this, so we need to make this. We need to do this. You know, so yeah, I just think again, people, different cultures, different things happening in different places, and those, you know, those experiences just coming out a certain way sonically.
Wow, yeah. And I think that's why I have so much hope for the UAE, Dubai, Sharjah, you know, the different Emirates when it comes to music. Arqam, you represent like one of the pioneers where kids, I think 50, 60 years from now, that they'll be remembering this music scene right when it was starting at its infancy, and you'll be right there. So
I wouldn't say that. I would say my brother, who's been doing this quite longer than me. Yeah, I think he's. If you look at his band, for example, he's got a Filipino guy that plays the guitar. He's got a South African guy that plays the drums. He's got a British guy that plays the bass. Croatian girl that plays the keys. Wow. So I mean, like, and he's the lead singer as a Emirati or Armani. So it's incredible to have all of this. He's a pioneer. He's what inspired me to listen to the music that I listen to enjoy what I'm doing and appreciate different kinds of music.
Right. Again, we're talking about the interconnectedness of all things, and music is certainly at the forefront of all of that. So I want to thank our guests, Mahogany Jones,
it was a pleasure. Thank
and
you.
Arqam Abri. For joining us today. Encourage everyone to check them out. I hopefully we can have some links and we can share that with you. And any final words before we close our session? Mahogany.
Yeah, let's just stay open. Let's stay connected.
All right. Thanks. And Arqam.
It was a pleasure to be here, and I look forward to making some more music that hopefully moves people. And that's the idea.
Sure.
Let's create more music that moves people. Less Britney.
Yes.